Seeks go out.
Yeah, just trying to get away from this right now. Hold on, trying to turn things. The Lantern is there. Hook grabbed on the Cool Guy Tony. Is taking a little bit low right now. Random Capital's in the backline. They are going to pick up that shutdown now. 3v3. Kill has already been picked up. There's cooldowns burnt. Now Capital's getting in there with the second half of the ultimate.
Oh my goodness.
And another member in, joining his best. Kaizo picking up that kill on a Random Capitals. Looks like it's just going to be a 1-for-1. So far, has been 5 people going. Looks like right from might be looking for something that's probably in love right now. Cool Guy Tony is in the midst. There's the engage coming through from Best. Ultimate already popped, instantly coming down. There's a big W available right now for Road.
My goodness.
He's already taken the first kill on Best. Flash is burnt, the Ignite comes down. In time, the TPs have already come through. Kaizo onto the back line onto Draven, and down goes Raccoon, and now the kite back has to start. Rogue Trader in the middle of all 5, throwing down a massive haymaker across the team, but it isn't able to pick up anything. Now Random Capitals picking up a double kill, setting themselves up. That's 3 down on both sides thus far. Now Best kind of caught no man's land. Same goes for so dangerous right now. They have to try and challenge this with the low health bars that they have right now. There's no ultimate available for this Akali. There's the first kill already picked up. Now Best into and on top of Random Capitals. His first kill goes back the other way. Best has dropped. Look at Random Capitals on this backline. Suddenly Goobers have turned this. They had nothing coming in, and Rice Farmers has nothing on the way out. The engage coming in from Copper into the backline. Look at this engage from Road Trigger. The backline just disappears. And it looks like Random Capitals trying to find a way into the backline, doesn't get anything, and now Best has been traded back. Kaizo's taken low into the Zanyas. They can't find that kill right now. Cool Guy Tony playing his best impression. A Road Trader gets into the backline. Look at the engage. Copper plus LeBlanca just takes down any remaining hopes that were available. And that final game of the day, final game of the season, and finally a mistake on the on the camera work. Oh, it's all good. But we are here with our final game of the day. It is not between Goofy Goobers and Rice Farmers. It is, in fact, thank you very much, between Ragnarok Esports Loki and Sick Game Right of SGR. This game is expecting to be a thriller. It's not going to affect the standings, which really should invigorate these teams to do some fun stuff. I'm once again joined by my colorcaster Lolo.
Escape, I'm just impressed by how quickly we just scene changed a little bit of a jump into the back, outfit swap, and here we are. Final game of the day, as you said, final game of FOF Season 5 regular season, and hopefully it's a banger. It doesn't affect the standings, but I'm sure both of these teams want to make a statement here. RSL still yet to net themselves a win before the 3rd place match they'll be playing next week. I'm sure they'd love to go out with one win in the regular season, and just as we get into the bans, of course, Ari's banned. Let's go! Finally,
there it is.
Banning this champion.
RSL, they made the mistake. They didn't even know. You cannot go into the Mythic League with those 3 letters in your tag and expect success. We've seen it already attempted by RLS. They did not do well in Mythic. And here it is being replicated. Obviously, no. RSL has had a decent, decent run so far. Obviously, it's difficult to be at the bottom. They're going to be locking in that Karthus first. I don't know. With the first pick Karthus, I don't know if that's going jungle necessarily. That could be something crazy. Obviously, it has seen some existence in the bot lane. Karthus is traditionally, in a very old sense, a mid laner. SGR is going to be looking at that Nunu and Willem, and then early locking the Xayah.
Yeah, so the Zaya's risen heavily in priority. Of course, the Karthus, it could be going bot lane. It just got buffed in the jungle, a little bit more clear on the queue now. So Atlas could be trying something different. Previously, we've seen things like the Kindred from him, but obviously, if he does want to go with a different style for this, then this is definitely a champion that they can play around for sure. And that Nunu, that is Pigu Pounder saying, if you are taking that into the jungle, then I am going to make you pay for it. That is his second most played champ in terms of just overall. It's that and the Viego that he's most kind of comfortable with in terms of what he's playing in solo queue, what we've actually seen from him as well in FOF. Yeah, I would. I worry a little bit for RSL. They are trying to play. We've seen this from them before, trying to play for priority with this sort of poke composition. But that is a Nunu, and that's also a Rakan. So this bot lane is, as we've seen before, they're definitely going to have to make sure they've established some vision before they try to push up too far.
Junglers and bot lanes have been locked in. I'm looking forward to seeing this the Xayah Rakan. Obviously, fun duo to play as, especially from the perspective of the Rakan. You get to be just everywhere, just dancing all over the screen. And meanwhile, it's going to be Caitlyn Karma locked in on the other side. Obviously, the Lux was available. Lux is what I think of. Obviously, Karma is more of the generalist support. It doesn't bully the lane quite as hard. Obviously, you land one Lux Q, and that's generally it. So no, they're aiming for a little bit more scaling options with that. Obviously, Caitlyn can do very well in the later stages. She has massive ratios on a lot of her abilities, so give her more AD and she's going to be successful. They are going to have to survive to that point. Obviously, like I say, Pigu Pounder on that Nunu is going to cause a lot of problems in the early stages. We'll see how that one works out. Meanwhile, Vladimir and Mordekaiser are so far taken away. There's just the solo lanes to lock in from either of these sides. Interested to see. I'm expecting to see some amount of priority onto Street Smurf in that mid lane. Get themselves set up. Very, very strong player. I have had the opportunity to play with him in the past, so I'm interested to see what they pick up. The Shen is taken away.
Yes, so I think now, I mean, Karma, just to note, of course, is Evan with an Eye's most comfortable champion. So again, it's a little bit more comfort if they do want to run, something that they're going to feel. Because Perpetual Dusk is primarily, in fact, a Janna player. So just to note that, this bot lane, they are trying to work with what they can. They're not a conventional ADC and support team, necessarily. So, but as you mentioned, will they, and now this is interesting from SGR, of course, are they going to offer that strong R5 counter pick to Archangel or to Street Smurf? The Cassiopeia has been taken away. We've seen Street Smurf on that yesterday. The Ahri is, of course, also off the table.
Ooh, there it is.
Are we going to see a repeat performance?
Now, that could also be going to Archangel in that top lane. Obviously, Akali has been an option, so that is a really good way to just grab a power pick and flex it, because obviously you don't know where it's going, so you're going to either counterpick Akali twice here, or you're not going to get to pick what you want, whatever it might be. We'll see what RSL is going to grab for these last two slots. Obviously, it's just going to be Weakside Veteran and Synectrix that are picking things up. It looks like it's going to be that TF grabbing in the mid lane. I don't know if that is going to be the option locked in. Obviously, TF is a bit of a one-trick pony. No, it's going to be the Sylas grabbed. Okay, I like that a lot more. Obviously, Sylas has a bit more options to go into those later stages, does a little bit more. Obviously, TF has a lot of power. You get him online, he gets to really basically support the rest of the team, get those crazy pickups. Don't tell me. Don't tell me that's real. That would be an awesome pickup. I'd love to see Weakside Veteran do it. Obviously, Teemo kind of gets a bad rep. He's not awful. No, it's going to be the side coming through. Okay, I was a little bit excited. I wanted to see some Teemo mushrooms going in and littering the jungle, but not going to be the option blind for Weakside Veteran. It looks like we're just going to see what Archangel wants last.
Yeah, so does Street Smurf pick something here to counteract the Sylas and send that Akali top? Against the Sion, it's not going to have too much kill threat. Or is Archangel just going to say, okay, now it's so hard with hovers, but this I do like. This is one of his most played champions. It's great into tanks, and it does just provide them a huge amount of presence in fights, which now allows Street Smurf to play around them. Obviously, you've got the Nunu and also, of course, the quickness, the Rakan able to play make as well. But this is going to give Street Smurf a lot of room to work with. The Sylas, on the other hand, though, we do note the Cassiopeia was banned out. The last time the Sylas came in, I'm pretty sure it had to be flexed into the top lane specifically because the Cass came out for Street Smurf and that matchup is unplayable. So this is going to be Synatrix being able to go up against Street Smurf on a skill matchup. Weakside Veteran he's struggled quite a lot overall in the league so far, and again, he's on quite an unfavorable matchup, but again, let's just see how much of a Weakside player he is. overall, this is looking like a fun one to round us out for the last game of the season.
Last game of the day, last game of the season. And yes, like you say, should be an entertaining one. Obviously, we'll see how Atlas can do on this Karthus. I'm interested to see. Obviously, Pingu Powder has had decent showing so far already today, and so far this season been a very strong jungler. They're just chilling out in that bot lane. A little bit of respect coming through. Perpetual Dusk and Synetrix are both here. Maybe gonna look for a play on a Street Smurf, who has opted into the Doran's Ring. Okay, so when I think Akali, and especially because we saw the bone plating proc there, I mentioned it I think previously, I think the double regen options just to make sure you survive that landing phase and get that power. Clearly Street Smurf has a lot of confidence going into Synetrix here, saying, you know, I'm going to go for the bone plating, I'm not going to really rely on playing super passive, got that Conqueror online, not going to be going for the fleet footwork or anything like that, just going to play to, from the looks of things, try and win that lane outright.
Yes, absolutely, and Street Smurf feeling very confident in his abilities. One ex FOF champion, of course, and we've seen amazing things from him on multiple picks thus far. We've seen the Ahri, we've seen the Cass. This is another. Are we going to see another repeat kind of superstar performance on the Akali? I would love to see it. And just as we are seeing, junglers working their way down into that bot side, let's note a couple of things which we haven't mentioned so far, is that yes, we are about to come to the end of the regular season, but we don't just play League here in FOF, we play a little bit of Valorant as well.
Yeah, no, a Valorant tournament, I think starting up near the end of April. It had a pre-run to it, which I was lucky enough to participate in, had a great time, even though we only won one round, but it was really, really entertaining. So, it's always a lot of fun. Basically, every single tournament that FOF puts on, there's always room for some smiles. So, looking forward to that. Anybody who's looking for a little bit of Valorant action, they want to play a little bit of some competitive tournament, play with a couple of your friends. You don't have to be that good. It's still a damn good time. Definitely look for the sign-up sheets on that at FOF.com. And yeah, I think moving forward from there, I think one more thing that I want to look at just in terms of this game and this game of League of Legends. Ghost has been picked up for Archangel here. Looking to bully Weakside Veteran and, not grabbing that flash, not going to be going for any sort of flash Q setups or anything like that, is going to be looking for just continue to run down this Scion, and that has been the case so far. Look at these trades that Archangel's consistently opting into, and he seems to be winning very hard.
Yeah, Weakside Veteran, as I mentioned already, has definitely struggled in quite a lot of these top lane matchups, so at the very least, going on something like the Scion, you're always going to have presence in the lane, no matter how far you fall behind, but he really is struggling at the moment. Yeah.
Just bullying up in that top lane. That Aatrox is so big, has so many of those base damages, and just has so many abilities in these early stages, consistently finding that damage thus far. Now, a top lane, bit of a CS deficit. Jungle at the moment is definitely worth looking at, as not only is there such a big numerical difference between these two, but right now Pingu Powder looking for a way in on Perpetual Dusk right now, but Atlas is here and has 2 levels on this Nunu at the moment. The exhaust comes down. Evan with an eye has flashed back and gotten out of trouble right now, but this Nunu is just so far behind. Atlas has already finished up that full clear, and there's been nothing taken so far. Now Street Smurf looking for a play in the mid lane. Synetrix is just going to try and shut that one down, and that will be the end of that. No kills picked up for either team. But a bit of a, I would say strong start for RSL.
Look, it's the duality of Nunu, yeah? He went for the level 2. He didn't
get
it. He's going back!
He's going back, and he manages to make that corner once again. Evan with an eye is caught out and taken down. Geico grabbing first blood.
All right, I take it back. He got it. He did what he set out to do. And yes, he's down 10 CS already against Atlas, who has managed to get himself a base off, pick up a Dark Seal and some boots. But he achieved the Nunu, and as in the top side.
Yeah, I think Weakside Veteran already knows what's coming in here, although that Q, that big devastating smash, turns it around. The W shield pop is enough damage. Take down Archangel, who just didn't pay enough respect to Weakside Veteran. He's been there for a while, and Atlas has been waiting for this one for a while. Pingu Powder gets taken down. Now Synetrix finds an engage onto Street Smurf. That has gone into that Shroud. He's going to try and walk out of there right now. There's a good amount of damage coming down. Frozen is there, potentially with the shields. Atlas takes up a tower shot. I don't think there's going to be any further engage onto the turret here. That is more gold going to the pockets of RSL. Some very good plays so far. Finding that solo kill in the top lane and the kill just outside of that mid-river.
Oh, Weakside Veteran, I'm so excited. I think that's the first. That is a solo bolo, a classic solo bolo. The Baus FFS would have been proud of that one. And he's building himself a lane kingdom, the first we have seen from him so far in FOF. And yeah, early advantages going over to RSL, and they have the Karthus. This Nunu is not paying dividends just yet. He did manage to net a kill for his Xayah. Very crucially, it is going to be another classic lethality Xayah. So again, the bot lane looking good for Geico, their star player, but nevertheless, yep, a little bit of a lead building for RSL already, and they will be very happy with that.
Yeah, and just looking at the composition, they really shouldn't be
Oh, no,
finding
he's
leads
coming
in the
back.
early stages. Although Pico Pounder looking for a little bit more on the board right now. Evan with an eye caught out a little bit again, but great trap placement there from Perpetual Dusk to take that one away from Pico Pounder. There's no snowball found, and they are able to just happily disengage right now. Meanwhile, topside, that Bramble Vest is done, and you'll see the difference. It's so much harder for Archangel to find good trades here, regardless of minion wave or anything like that. Just dealing with the damage coming back to him constantly, and there's no way to get comfortable healing online.
Meanwhile, there's already a 25 CS deficit in the jungle. Because Piku Pounder is just relentlessly...
Ooh, hold on, ult's picked up for both of these two in the mid lane. Both of them looking at execution. Is he out? I think he might be. Archangel now looking for a play in the top side. Has hit 6 before Weakside Veteran. He's surely looking for the clear on the wave there. Get himself the way out of here. Grab that train ride out. Has leveled that level 6 and has turned it back onto Archangel now. 200 HP apiece. Looks like that trade is going to finish out. And somehow, some way, Synetrix was able to make it out of that mid lane gank.
Synetrix gets away. Again, Piku Pounder's finding nothing so far except for this ward. He does manage to get the ward, though. That's an extra 30 gold in his pocket that he desperately needs. And this is carrying on.
Upside, and here it is. The snowball's back again. I don't think Weakside Veteran's going to be able to get away from this one.
Oh!
He's charging out on that snowball at the moment, charging up that devastating finds them both, but there's no way he's going to be able to turn that one around. Just going to go to the wave. Does have that TP available for when he respawns. Shouldn't be too bad.
Don't go near him!
Finds the kill onto Archangel. How did that happen?
Archangel, man, don't get too cocky, Star Fox, which I've been wanting to make that reference all day because it's a game 10 years older than he is, but yeah, he pays for his hubris there. Don't go near the Scion. That does a lot of damage.
Where have I seen that before? There's another team with similar initials to that one. Has a weak side. I feel like they've done that one recently. I don't know. Check your FOF knowledge. See if you can see who's done that one recently. Meanwhile, trade's back in the bot lane right now. Archangel has to be sitting up there embarrassed a little bit.
I mean, yeah, you don't. Weak side veteran is definitely putting on a clinic on this Scion. This is a performance I have been waiting to see from him since the start of the Mythic League. And yeah, Archangel. This isn't a 16-year-old top gap right now, or at least it's not going in the right direction for him. Meanwhile, Piku Pounder is having to work desperately to catch up from this. Atlas has just been chilling. What more could a Karthus ask for? His lanes are winning without him. So he's, yes, there's a bit of a CS deficit in the mid lane for Street Smurf, but overall, you know, a Karthus could not be happy right now. He's clearing even faster after those 12.7 changes. And the moment he decides to press the R button, he'll be getting himself some DH stacks more than likely.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that Dark Harvest coming through. Now, I think of the bankrolling Karthus personally. You press the R button and ba-ba, it's 150 gold, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Or something like that. So I'm interested that it is going to be the Dark Harvest. Obviously, it does give him a little bit more power as you go into those later stages. It's not that consistent 10% boost, but it will scale up. It will start to hurt very badly. You can finish off a lot of kills with it, so I'm interested to see. But like you say, Atlas really hasn't been demanded, like he hasn't had anything asked of him thus far. He's just kind of been farming, which is exactly what you want if you're Karthus. You just want to walk around, maybe pick up a kill occasionally, as we do see a trade started on the top side right now. Archangel, health deficit is there, but it doesn't seem too worried about it right now as that Conqueror has been finished off, and now that regen's starting to come through online. Aatrox has a lot of healing baked into that kit. He is able to trade that HP back the other way, but Weakside Veteran's just happy to walk away, just keep scaling up.
I mean, that's ultimate burned, so no World Ender on deck. The Unstoppable Onslaught is still available. And he's got TP advantage, so if he wants, he can just try to trade, get himself a push, because he's always going to get the push with the passive. So let's see what happens. I mean, he can go for another solo bolo if he's feeling it right now.
It looks like he might be looking for a little bit of damage regardless. Has pushed Archangel away from his waves. There's going to be nothing trading back right there. And oh no! Atlas dropping the ult in that top lane. Now Archangel taken so low. Now Street Smurf and Synetrix, who looks like he's being pulled out of the world at the moment, has been taken into trouble right now. Frozen, big engagement. Great dodge there from Perpetual Dark. Nothing to be done for Evan, though, as he does fall down. Perpetual Dark trying to get away from all these Zaya Feathers. There's the ultimate getting laid down and retracted back in. Geico finds another kill, and there's a solo in the top lane. I can't imagine how this one plays out.
I mean, we were all waiting for this to happen. The moment that Requiem came down, Archangel was basically living on a pixel. And he did his best. Look, he tried for some alcove gaming right now. Little bit of a dance there, but eventually I'm sure Weakside Veteran got the better of him. I don't know, did he actually have to burn
I feel like he could have gotten out of there. Yeah, he has to burn the flash. I feel like Archangel got a little bit greedy there. Just decided, yeah, he's got no mana. I can try and win this. But I think he could have been out of there. I don't know.
He's definitely still playing. He's earned the right to be cocky,
Yes.
given the way he's played so far in the season. So fair play to him. If he wants to outplay, he can try it. But Weakside Veterans, having none of it thus far, has kept his TP and has gotten a push. But on the other hand, with that play down there on the bot side, netting a couple of kills, getting Geico even further ahead. And now Pigu Pounder, he's managed to net himself some kills with Street Smurf.
Yeah, Synatrix is looking in a bit of trouble here. Good flash there, but he comes over the wall. And hold on, there's the Nunu ult online. That's going to deal a lot of damage back the other way. And now Synatrix, the flashes failed from Street Smurf. And that is a solo kill picked up for Synatrix, who's looking for more. Just gets charmed up and taken down by Frozen, though, all of a sudden. Rakan in the wings. And everyone with an eye has nothing that he can do to stop that.
Well, that was a beautiful use of the Absolute Zero, by the way. Here comes the Zion!
Here he comes under the turret. Oh, I got a little bit excited too. I was hoping he was going to go underneath there and go for a little bit of play on a Pico Pounder, but it doesn't come through. Weakside Venture just showing up and reminding people of what the old times were like back when there was engages coming in left and right. Oh, jeez. Taking the train.
This guy is caring too much about his KDA as a Scion. That's your first mistake. Just go in there, trade, get some plates on the turret, but of course he's got a wave to catch top lane, and that's very important.
And look who's making their first appearance on the map right now as Atlas is coming into this top lane round with Archangel. Popping that ulti, that World Ender. He's already been taken down to half HP. We do know the regen starts coming pretty chunky at that point, though. Atlas taken beyond half, down to 150 for both of them. And barely, just barely, Atlas is able to survive right there. And another kill picked up for Weakside Veteran, who's now going to push this to the turret.
He is, and Archangel does have TP, but those death timers, that is just going to allow enough time. Weakside Veteran will have Demolish, almost certainly. How much is he going to be? There you go. He's going to get at least a couple of plates here, continue to build his league, set up his kingdom. Whereas on the other side, Geico is going to try to do the same and build himself a carry point. He couldn't do it on the Zeri, can he on the Xayah?
Street Smurf did not react at all to that Q coming up from Synatrix. I don't think he's too worried about this right now, as he does have that ultimate online. Looking for the play. Yes, has popped it. It looks like he might go over the wall right now. Piku Pounder with a big absolute zero in the middle of 4, but they can't find the kill first. So it looks like it's just going to be a 1-for-1 traded at the moment right now as we do go to the top lane. It looks like there was a little bit of an engage coming through from Geico. I think that might be the end of it right now. Archangel taken so low, and there's no train ride available right now for Weakside Veteran to take that one to the kill. Oh, hold on. Perpetual Darkness has been down underneath the turret. There's the ultimate coming down from Geico. Those feathers have to be so scary. Great flash! Frozen is taken so low. Ooh, where's the friendship test, Geico? You're gonna go down for that one. Atlas picks up the kill, and somehow RSL, I did it finally, loses no one.
Of course. It's got to happen once. Escape, don't hate me for saying this, but that's ADC play right there.
It is.
You're not going to block for your support. Come on, man.
Unbelievable.
It's karma anyway, because he gets taken out shortly after, and yeah, a bit of an overextension on that play. And RSL, they are looking. I mean, the goal lead is quite minimal given how many fights we've seen go their way so far. Archangel going to be able to pick up some plates of his own as Weakside Veteran's taken a base and picked up his Sunfire Aegis, but nevertheless, now Atlas is pretty fed. It's going to be down to Geico again. As no.
Very, very close. Yeah, like you say, Atlas very much online. I don't think he's taken the recall yet from that play. I think he just went up and went, I'm going to full clear again, because that's kind of what Karthus do. Potential for the play here right now. Evan with an eye, burning that flash at a Pigu Pounder.
He's coming in!
Okay, hold on. He's made it all the way over there. So much damage. He's going to come for the... Give it to the Karthus. Give it to the Karthus. Nicely done. Weakside Veteran setting his team up for a success right there as Atlas grabs another kill and is going to go towards that Rift Herald. Perpetual Dusk. Yes. I'm very sorry. That's a rough place to be.
I'm going to go back a little bit. How does it feel, Pigu Pounder? How does it feel, Nunu? You just got run down. And you paid for it. He paid for it. That's for every level 2 gank that we've ever seen on this ridiculous champion, and the Scion, even more ridiculous champion, is continuing to outtrade this poor Aatrox.
Yeah, and yeah, Aatrox is very nice when you're ahead and when you can trade effectively, which we saw in the early stages. It looked very good. And then there was that ridiculous turn back from Weakside Veteran, and now it's this. And I think it will be this for the next forever. Probably there's no real hope in sight right now for Archangel. There's a little bit of hope in sight for Street Smurf is able to get out of that nastiness. at a moment's notice. A lot of topside focus right now. Obviously, Atlas and Weakside Veteran have been really putting on a show. Right now, Perpetual Dusk is very much the weak link on the team right now. Has had a lot of focus. Hold on, might have to drop that thought right now. Atlas at the whim of a snowball right now. Great little sidestep to get away from that. Now, Peaky Pounder suddenly is out of position. This is how the Scion needs to be playing. Synetrix just waiting for that opportunity to go over the wall. Doesn't grab it. And the sign of that Shirelles means that Rakan is there, and they are going to grab that disengage.
Yep, just one hit from the Herald, so not too much value. Of course, plates have already gone about 50 seconds ago. Atlas needs to base. I don't know how much money he's sitting on, but yeah, quite a lot. There you go. That's Leandri's, Phoenix Codex, stopwatch, 10 Dark Seal stacks. Yeah, now the Requiem does damage, yeah.
That's another consistency between these two teams is jungler gold between RSL and RLS. Just backing on 3k plus there is Atlas, but you know what? He's been making it work nonstop, and now, like you say, that Leandri's has come through. Are going to be missing out on that Dragon number 2 right now, as it is going to be a Mountain Soul lining itself up for this game. Good luck breaking that Scion if you give it over. You've got a Pokazaya, you've got an Aatrox who can't match him already. Yeah, I think that is a massive win condition for RSL if they can grab it.
Of course, but at the same time, it's a bit of a silver lining actually that it is this soul for the side of SGR, because that a lot of this poke, as again, that really hurts. Oh yeah. My goodness.
The trades do continue. Now there's a bit more than a trade in the mid lane right now as the engage does come through, and Perpetual Dusk, who's taken so low, doesn't have heal available and is out of there right now as the trades continue in the top side. Looks like we've disengaged from the mid lane fight for the moment as Weakside Veteran. Great flash over that final Q. Pick up that one more solo kill in that top side. That 05 Aatrox is having a rough day at the moment.
He really is. Archangel paying for his hubris, as I said before. The Nunu's coming up, though. Bigu Powder's trying to match him up there.
Bird has been taken down. Look at Frozen just turning that one again. Frozen's been making some plays right now. 3-1 on this Rakan. I don't think that's going to take him down. It's very close there. That heal coming in at the last moment, coming in with that shield as well, is going to keep Frozen alive, but that was very close.
It's very fed Rakan. The Lovers right now are doing very well, but it's just the rest of their team isn't. But as we said before, you know, previously is, again...
Who knew? Non-stop.
I do quite like that skin, actually. It's a giant ball of honey. It's pretty cute. As...
Bit of a trade in the bot lane. Sorry, I do want to talk about that skin. Other things that came with it. Orbiana.
Yes.
Jeez, now, hold on. There's a bunch of really...
Heimer
Stinger. And then that one's just called Nunu and B-Lump?
Yeah, it's terrible.
What's the deal with that? It's just, you're putting him with like a bunch of other fantastic names and you give him Nunu and B-Lump? What's the deal with that?
Because, I don't know.
Heimer Stinger is amazing.
Heimer Stinger is incredible. I don't... Chat, if you've got any B puns for Nunu and Willem, please stick them in there and we'll send them to Riot. Because I agree with you. I think it's extremely lackluster, but you know what isn't lackluster is, well, the amount of damage that particularly that Weakside Veteran can pull out, but maybe this is a matchup that Archangel will feel a little bit more comfortable with. He does have a level advantage.
He's looking pretty good right now. The World Ender is online for Synetrix, but you gotta put her before the healing comes through. How does that happen? Archangel just still deciding, you know, I'm a top laner. It doesn't matter if I'm 05. I'm still very, very powerful. Takes his first kill of the game onto Synetrix.
Again, people are playing for their hubris. Synetrix, yes, this Aatrox has been beaten and bruised. I once said this in a game myself. He said, no. I may be a punching bag. Hang on.
Oh, no. Speaking of punching bags right now, Perpetual Dusk is looking like a bit of one right now. Frozen's going to get out of there. The best visibility. And right now, Street Smurf and Weakside's Veteran are stuck in that bot lane. Please continue.
I was going to say, Archangel can say to Synetrix right now, you say, look, I'm a punching bag for that Scion, but not for you, mate. Not for you. Little bit of a different story. When he's a level up, the items are basically even. Yeah, the Silas can't necessarily compete in a 1v1, even when he steals the World Ender. So, Synetrix a little bit of a blunder there. That is going to allow Archangel to take a tower. He's coming back for round 2!
Oh, just barely out of there with that. The crazy thing about blast cones is it doesn't really care if you're rooted. It's just going to get you out of there. It's very, very convenient. But yeah, no, well done for Archangel to just get out of there without a dodge. Where's something else we can bully people on? A bit of a target right now. Geico. It's 20 minutes. You have 3 vision score.
Oh, that's very true.
I just feel like being mean right now. What's going on there? There's 8 on the top lane, but he's been dead for half the game. What's going on in the bot lane, Geico?
So let's be clear, yeah. We've seen this man not block for his support earlier.
Yeah.
We've seen him put down less wards than, well, than anyone else on the team, even weak side veteran. It's up to 5. All right, he's almost up to weak side veteran. He's a quintessential ADC. This is what Escape as an ADC. You should be taking notes. This is how you become a better ADC. Playing like this.
This is what I'm doing wrong.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
That's what I was doing last season. What I dropped. That's where the issue is right now. Oh my goodness. All right, issue appearing on the map right now. 30 seconds before this next dragon comes through. Soul Point available right now for SGR. Obviously, that would put them into a very comfy spot. You want to be getting into that Soul Point as early as you can. You have the opportunity to. Obviously, this is going to be 20 minutes for our 3rd dragon, not for our 4th. So, hasn't been necessarily super duper high pace or anything like that, but Atlas has 2 items finished up. The Kraken Slayer has been finished up for Perpetual Dusk, which I want to say when you're very behind on ADC and you can go Kraken, definitely go it because it's guaranteed damage. Great call there. But I think that we could have a fight coming through for this round as we've seen all 10 people make their way down to the bot side. And it looks like Senetrix starting to play the front line for this one as finally weak side veteran appears from the shadows. I think we could have a very good fight on our hands here.
Senatrix probably wants to steal the quickness here, so they have a form of engage. Are they going to let him
off? There's the side over the wall there from Street Smurf. Do have the ward. I love that he's looking for the flank, though, playing in the very right position for Kali because it makes it so uncomfortable. They have to kite up and towards the enemy team's turrets. They want to get away from it, which is never what you want to do right now. 5.7k sitting. There's the quickness picked up. Silas is still in and out of this dimension at the moment. Speaking of dimensional plays right now, weak side veteran on the backline, trapped on the backline of Street Smurf, but there's an absolute zero covering absolutely everyone. Oh my god. Instantly the triple kill picked up for Pigu Pounder, and he's going to make his way over to weak side veteran, the final remaining member of RSL, as they're going to grab that soul point in an instant that Nunu made its value on, or brought its value online. Surely we do not drop to the Scion passive frozen.
We're going to go back for a little bit here, as I think the main thing here is weak side veteran tries to get on to Geico. That's a Zaya. That's one shot. That's the one ADC that just has a no button for that. So here he is. He's eventually with that quickness. They think they see an opening, but nope. Gets dodged by everybody. Suddenly Archangel's in, and then the absolute zero comes out with the flash, and that is a Nunu's wet dream right there, and. Suddenly, weak side veteran is left all on his own, and Archangel finally gets his revenge. Look!
Hold on. Does Frozen die? I have to know.
Oh my god.
Don't tell me.
Yes! And he gets a shutdown, let's go!
Oh my goodness. Oh, some people never learn, I swear. It's a great trade, though. Ends up being 5-for-1 in favor of SGR. They swing the gold lead back in their favor, and handedly at that. Soul Point is online, and it is looking very, very comfortable at the moment if you're SGR.
It really is, yes. And when it comes to those crucial moments, they've managed to build... I was about to say, before we get to that dragon fight, that even though they've managed to build themselves advantages on this top side, very strong Karthus, very strong Scion, before that play, SGR were ahead on gold. And if you look at the discrepancies in the mid, there's a massive CS discrepancy in the bot lane as well. And in the mid lane on the CS discrepancy. Geico and Street Smurf are really big. Archangel, still a complete menace, even though he's suffered so much previously. I mean, yeah, look at there's a 3k gold deficit between these ADCs right now. 2k almost in the mid lane. It doesn't matter if your Scion is that far ahead or your Karthus is that far ahead if when it gets to the team fight, everyone's just going to get exploded like that. So now, I mean, it's not over, of course. Yes, there's now a 4k gold lead for the side of SGR after that play. They do have a Mountain Soul on the cards for them. But it's definitely not over. You know, they still have this big point of pressure that weak side veteran can exert. And that's probably what they're going to need to play around, because when they get into those team fights now, it's demonstrated that just it's too chaotic, and SGR are the ones winning out, Senatrix might be in trouble.
Yeah, has to play defensive at the moment, does have that World Ender, which is going to boost the healing if he does want to pop it. Looks like he is going to, and look at that map. TP was burnt. We're not going to get to see that past that point. Absolutely zero coming into the top lane right now. Weak side veteran looking far from comfortable. Look at that. That's how you block a Caitlyn ult, Geico. Frozen showing up for his ADC in that moment. Now Street Smurf causing problems on that backside. Look at that flash through. Grabbing that one for a double kill. The Requiem is going to seal his fate. And that is going to be kill picked up, but it has been so much dancing and damage in that top side. And Senatrix looks like he might have dropped in the bot.
He fancied it again. And even though he shouldn't have cancelled that. He should have just hit him. But either way, he burns his flash, looks good for a moment, but gets hit with a Q3. That is a lot of damage. That got buffed a patch or two ago. And Archangel, don't count him out. That's all I'll say.
And also, we lost Street Smurf at the end of that, unfortunately.
Aww.
Pounder is actually pretty low on the backside of this. They're actually all very low on the backside of this. Perpetual Dusk isn't. Look at the devastation! Does he find both of them? One kill already picked up in 2. Weak side veteran!
You know, this guy got kind of smacked in lane by Rogue Trader in the Pantheon set matchup, and then
Oh my god!
Back yesterday and got himself 6 kills. Had all of his team's kills for a portion of the game. He's showing up again today. He's really showing up. That was a beautiful little cue there from him. Picks himself up a double. He's still a problem. It's just they need to pivot. They need to like allow him to continue to pressure. They don't continue to bleed. The Drake is still coming up in 2 minutes time, so he has to set up some prio in that bot side, because if the Mountain Soul does come online from SGR, then it's going to be actually impossible for RSL to get themselves a decent fight in. So the Requiem loses so much value. So
I cannot believe that play still. I still have my head in my hands from that. How does he keep finding it? How does Weakside Veteran keep making things work? If he can pull that off in a team fight, obviously the last one he went for the Xayah is a good idea on paper. Xayah has the ultimate online, it kind of diminishes it. We're, like you say, minute 30 out from Dragon. Obviously nothing too crazy is going to happen just yet, I don't imagine. Weakside Veteran with the level gap right now over Street Smurf, who has landed 3 Qs at this point.
To demolish.
Yeah, he does want that demolish. I think he's going to pick it up right now, and he does have a train ride out of here if he so chooses to take it, although he's looking kind of good at the moment. And ultimate is going to be popped down. It looks like Pigu Pounder is going to take that shutdown away. And that is going to be a relatively long death timer. Does have that TP available for Dragon, but that is kill picked up, traded for the objective bounty.
I don't know if that was a good death. You know, if he traded 1 for 1, I think that's a good death. But he does get the tower. He gets an objective bounty, as you say. But this is going to allow all of the, it's going to allow SGR. They think they can take this Baron now.
I think they're right. Look where Atlas is right now. I don't know if he was seen bot lane, but they're assuming he's not here. Evan with an eye having a hard time trying to get in there. The TP is being channeled right now for Street Smurf. That Karma is not necessarily respecting how much damage that can do. A Smite Q comes through. And Evan with an eye, how did you end up here? I don't imagine that this Karma is going to be lasting all too long. There's a lot of abilities burnt. The World Ender was burnt there. And Evan with an eye is going to go down just before Weakside Veteran gets back onto the map, but that is Baron for SGR.
It is Baron for SGR, and that's the problem you see. Yes, we go for a spicy 2v1, but when you're not just the point of pressure, you are basically all of your team's gold, or a vast majority of it, then he gets picked out, and they think they've got a fast Baron. And now, 5 seconds to Soul as well. SGR having all of the run of these neutral objectives. Weakside Veteran's there, though. Can he get a steal over the wall with a Q? Oh my god, I would lose my, Is it on the cards escape?
I have to imagine it's not, but Weakside Veteran has
Go on, mate. Go on, mate.
Eighth lead this whole game. Okay, no, it doesn't come through. That Mountain Soul makes this very challenging. I wanna say, you know, they're sharing my initials. I've been confused with them this whole time that they've been here, but RSL, they definitely still have a way to win this. It's just very challenging.
And now he's a level down on Archangel. Archangel,
oh, no.
He wins this now very handily.
Oh, how the turns are tabled. Oh, dear. I mean, he's trying to trade this one back. Overall, the health percentage isn't necessarily favoring him, but the amount of health left is severely still favoring Weakside Veteran. Synetrix trying to get away from this Aatrox, who has healed his entire health bar back 3 times now. And now trying to get away from the absolute zero. Synetrix is the first one to fall right now. Weakside Veteran sitting at just over 1,000 HP. Atlas is taking so much from Archangel. Top laners are fine right now, I promise. Shutdown in the early game doesn't affect him now. Archangel gonna pick up 2 kills and assists on the 3rd. Weakside Veteran still hanging out on the back line trying to cut this way, but it is 2 members of RSL remaining as the French army has moved their way in. They've got Baron buffs on all 3 waves, and surely they have not much withholding them between here and victory.
Oh, okay.
Or a kill.
He didn't block again.
Yeah.
Well,
so
it doesn't matter.
I have a least favorite ADC in this league now. Sorry, Geico. What's going on, man? You can't just not block that, not ward. You're a
Well,
brilliant player, don't get me wrong, but come on, man, it's so mean.
it is, but you know, it's typical ADC. They are going to put priority on two. They're going to put pressure now on a second inhib. Top inhib is going down as well with Street Smurf up there just chilling.
Oh, Atlas is in so much trouble. The quickness is attempted there from Synectrus to get off of his jungler right now, but doesn't seem to be too much capable of stopping SGR at the moment as they are working their way into the base. They've got Baron buffs on this bottom wave. Will be trying to make its way out of there right now. Archangel, the only one stuck in the base. We've got 2 minutes 30, basically 3 minutes on both of these objectives. I imagine we're just going to recuperate and move our way back into the base right now. SGR is still on top of this game.
So there's a little bit of good news for RSL, even though the gold lead has ballooned to 8k. Triple inhib, that's a problem. That's a lot of supers.
I would say 3.
Yes. Yes, it's 3 problems. And the good news is that they have a good... Their clear's pretty good. Caitlyn clears fairly well, Karma clears fairly well, Sion clears very well. So if they can hold out, if they don't give on this push, then they will build back a lot of that gold through an experience through all of these supers. Now, it's a bit of copium, don't get me wrong, but they have a little bit of time. They have a couple of minutes respite here when there are no neutral objectives available. If they can hold out for a burger flip, maybe there's an angle. I'm clutching at straws here, Escape, but I want to see one last burger flip to end out FOF Season 5 regular season.
I mean, what else can you clutch at right now? And really, like, on the one hand, clutching at straws is basically all that RLS... Oh, no! No,
It's alright! It's okay!
Oh,
You can only one!
All that they have on the moment right now is Archangels decide to take this trade right now with Weak Side Veteran. Has that ultimate online, can get out of there if he wants to. This is such a health bout at the moment right now. World Ender still yet to be used. Weak Side Veteran's just trying to stay here for as long as possible right now. Just decides to use the ult to continue the fight. Look at that magic shield coming in online from the Maw. Malmortius is not long on the world right now. And clutching at straws is basically all they have left at this point. But
Hello folks, Chris Edgeworth here with tonight's final interview from the Mythic Round Robin section. We are joined by Archangel of the victorious Sick Game Riot. How are you feeling?
I'm good, man.
Right on. Well, let's dive right into it with this game. It's our final game of the round robin, and it was an interesting draft all the way around. On your side, you were piloting the Aatrox and the Scion matchup. You folks had the new Akali Xayah Rakan coming out with the unfortunate Arcane skins that don't have the updated recall, right? A little Sick Game Riot action, like memeing literally on the stage. Sick Game Riot, I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
and then the Scion, Karthus, Silas, Kate Karma. Let me know what were you feeling coming into this matchup, what you folks were choosing in this draft, and what you ended up against.
So, pretty much around the board, we wanted our jungler Pigu to get Nunu, and it was kind of like memeing. So we just picked whatever we wanted, and I just sort of picked Aatrox because he was the first alphabetical thing in order, right? No, but it was either that or Garen, and like just wanted to play Aatrox, so I did that, and yeah.
Well, you piloted it to a plum. It was interesting that your matchup played out the way it did, because it was like two ships passing in the night in some fashions, because it felt like you were matching up against the Scion, and then he was just like, this Aatrox kind of like annoying to like kill and fight all the time. Like, what if I just let his teammates run into me and just get slapped by my Q? And then he just started collecting kills. So how did it feel sort of through the middle of the game, just seeing Scion get big, and then inevitably it didn't end up mattering too much that he was the big boy that you guys were able to get through. So how are you feeling how this matchup developed over the game?
So I kind of inted him, just a little bit, 5 kills, not that much, right? And he did get kind of strong, and the whenever I was side laning for like 90% of the game, I just sort of did the tactic of just look away and everything turns out fine. It did not turn out fine, but Scion, everyone just played really well, and I guess whenever we actually hopped into team fights with Pigu Pounder, who by the way was like really crazy, real MVP this game, giving him Nunu and just sort of carried fights and everything. It wasn't for him, like, no, so we don't do much. But I slowly caught up, and like whenever I actually had to fight Scion, it was not as hard.
Yeah, I guess I should amend my my metaphor a little bit. Considering I didn't realize that all 5 of your deaths were the beginning, and then it was I knew it was a little rough early, but I guess chat is amending things in my memory. So I guess it's a little bit of like two ships passing in the night if one of the ships is accidentally scraping against an iceberg for a little bit. But in the end, you folks were able to seal those bulkheads and maybe not go down like the Titanic. You were able to get gigantic in this. With the gore drinker and all the healing, it just seemed like your health bar never managed to hit the floor and was always getting topped off every time you were able to touch any of these players on the other team. So this was a big win for you folks as you look at a 4-2 end to the round robin, and you match up against the Rice Farmers for the finals of Mythic. I want to get your thoughts. How are you feeling since you folks did get the matchup earlier in a game that I thought was pretty close overall until the things were a little too overwhelming, and then the game ended at a point. I felt like for a majority of that game, though, you guys were in it. How are you feeling looking forward to a week from now where you guys are going to match up in these finals?
I think that we're gonna win. Like, not even capping, just we made a few bad macro plays like as a team, and they got really confident because of that. But like, we know how good they really are. It's like we sweep everyone in these things. Doesn't matter if like Rice gets a couple of lucky plays in; they're just still bad.
All right, well, I like you throwing down the gauntlet, man. I'm really excited to see this matchup. I think there's going to be a lot of sparks flying when we look forward to this best of 5 coming up next week. Excuse me. Folks, that is going to be it for the round robin section of Mythic. We're going to be taking a break for Heroic next week as we get ready for those playoffs. So we will be back with our Mythic games next week, I believe on Thursday. I may be wrong about that. I'm sure chat will now start flaming me if I am wrong. So I'll look for that. But in the meantime, folks, I do want to shout out that this is going to be the end of our merch pre-orders, so last chances to get in on that for the opportunity to get some sick threads. If you need something, you might want to check it out. Represent friend or foe, as well as you play some Valorant. We gotta play some Valorant. We need to do a little test, so please join us for our friend or foe Valorant test tournament. Looking forward to seeing many players signing up for that. And folks, that's going to be it for this week of Mythic. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Congratulations to Sick Game Riot and to Rice Farmers for making those finals. We do look forward to seeing those matches next week, as well as our 3rd and 4th place matches. And we will see you then. Have a wonderful weekend and good night.